now we should be running. And with me here is Mick King and Oscar Betts. And what do you call the band, or the duo at least?
Well, it's been called several different things throughout the years. We've never really kind of stuck with anything, but there was a time when we were called the Innocent Bystanders.
For a long period of time.
A long period of time.
Mickey seems to have taken the handle these days and produces a lot of music up at the Spirit Room in Jerome up here on Fridays or on Saturdays and Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
And we all join him. Different sort of folks float in and out, but it's called the Mick King Band. Different folks sort of float in and out. We've argued about this, but I wanted to call it the
Jerome All-Star. Yeah. Great. Now, as we were saying before the interview got interrupted, you went to high school, you graduated from the last graduating class in Jerome.
That's true.
But you're originally from Hollywood.
Hollywood, California, born and raised over there.
What brought you to Jerome? How did you find it?
My folks moved here in 69, something like that, 69, 70, to Sedona. And I moved over there with them. When I turned about 16 years old, I left home and moved up here to Jerome. While I was living over there, you know, everybody knows about Jerome. I'd always heard about Jerome. I'd always come over here and visit different friends that I'd made. And I loved the town. From the moment I stepped up here, I just fell in love with it. So when I had the opportunity to move out of the house in Sedona, I figured I'd get a little spot here and finish high school up here. It was back in 72.
What was your graduating class?
72. Graduating class of 72.
I mean, how many were in there?
Not a whole lot. I recall there might have been maybe 20, 30, something like that. Not a whole lot of kids.
And was the population bigger or
It was
smaller?
about 125 people at the time.
Now it's about 350, so.
Yeah, we're jumping.
Yeah. Leaps and
Booming
bounds.
these days.
Describe for me first with you, Oscar, the magic that you find in Jerome. What is it?
Well, a lot of why I live here is because the reclusiveness of the town. I feel like I can still be, I mean, I have a fax phone in my house, I have 2 other incoming lines for business. I can be in touch with the entire world. But the second any of that electronic stuff is off, I'm in Jerome. I'm looking out at 13,000, 14,000 foot San Francisco peaks. I'm looking across an expansive valley over to Sedona. It's just mind-boggling, the views around here. I'm here because mostly I don't enjoy large cities, and I can't really stand living around a whole lot of people. I love people, but I find that I do my best work when I'm not really a crowded human.
How does Jerome influence your music?
Well, geez, if you just come up here and take a look around, like at the old buildings, the ruggedness of the earth. The flavor of the entire Southwest is all spoken in this little town, and it just can't help but permeate anything you do. It permeates my jewelry, it permeates the music, it permeates the kind of human I am, how I think. It involves itself in every facet of my life, my spiritual life, my physical well-being, all of it.
And we may want to add that you actually took piano lessons or music lessons right out of this room at Jerome High School.
In this very room, the old piano room. Yeah.
Now for you, Mick, you're one of the road people, actually. You're one of the crew people that breaks down and sets up for concerts. And you're one of the behind-the-scenes people, and most people don't realize in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're there when the big national groups come in. What made you settle in Jerome?
Well, I came up here, I think it was 71, year into 71, to play a birthday party for a lady named Fern Goldwyn. And I met some people in Tempe. I was living in Tempe at the time. I spent my first year in Arizona in Tempe. But when I came up here to play this birthday party, I fell in love with Jerome. It was the first time that I'd actually felt like I was at home. It felt more like home than growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, or being anywhere else I'd ever been. And I've traveled a lot since then, and I always come back here. This is the roots. This is the basics. And what I find that inspires me the most is in our community there's quite a few artists and people that can do just phenomenal things, you know, and very creative people. And I've spent many years watching these people do what they do and see how they have disciplined themselves with their art or their creative thing that they're doing. And by observing that, it has taught me my own discipline to do with the things that I do. And I also learned that the difference about Jerome to me in the big cities, there's no one here trying to get it together so they can leave to go be somewhere else. Everyone is here for the simple reason that they want to be here, and no other reason, it seems like to me.
Well, you're multi-talented. You play how many instruments?
All string instruments, except for the violin. I just
And that's
refuse
your
to-
forte.
I refuse to
That's
pick
mine.
it up.
Yeah, I
wave
play
that
a
stick
fiddle,
around.
yeah.
If I could play it with picks, it'd be different. Yeah.
That's great.
He is. It's a joy just picking with this guy. I mean, the talent that comes out of Mickey.
Do you find it's like an improv that, you know, you're just, you play the same song exactly the same?
Oh, not really. I always try to do what I know with it, and then try to add something to it.
There's a lot of improv in the vocals. There's a lot of improv when we're
I always try to add
playing
something.
original songs that we've written in the clubs. I love to change the lyrics. I love to change the lyrics to suit what I'm feeling from the crowd.
For that moment.
If you were to,
It's hard to follow sometimes because you never know where he's going to come up with something.
how many songs do you have?
Ooh, Lord, I don't know. I think in our original repertoire, it's got to be 50, 60 songs. We were fortunate enough back in '78 to write the sound score, 76, I guess, write the sound score for a small movie that was produced in Hollywood and sent around. We're not oriented towards big business or anything, you know, but we've had our brushes with folks wanting to use our songs and stuff, and we know a lot of people in the record industry. And a lot of them ask us to continue and to produce and to write our stuff and keep sending stuff out. It gets real difficult because I get real busy up here and I get real tied down in my other life. So music is definitely a major part of our lives.
By splitting, living in a place like Jerome, you don't have, do you worry about things like what happens when you're 67 years old, your IRA, you know, your bills?
Well, I never worry about it, but it
He is
seemed like
60
when I
years
was,
old.
when we were in LA running around over there, it's like everyone that we met that's in the industry was trying to get it together so they can make a bunch of money to have what we already have here, a place with a good view, a nice home, away from people, and we've already got that. We don't have to seek that out. And in a way, it's been a real good.
There is. I'd have to say there's a lot of integrity in our music. I really believe that. We really play with all our hearts. Mickey and I have been playing together about 15 years now, or longer than that. And we do it for the sheer love of the music and the sheer enjoyment of making other people happy. My heart tingles when I see people smile and having a good time.
They like it.
You bet.
In closing, let's start with you, Oscar. What's the most magical place for you here in Jerome?
Here in Jerome, the most magical place is probably right next to my sweetheart. Wherever she's at, I'm next to her. That's probably one of these magic spots.
You, Nick?
My most magic spot is probably up on the mountain,
Which one?
up on Mingus, or up Mescal Canyon, hanging out in the wilderness. It's amazing what you can do with a musical instrument in the woods. You can sit around and play for 20 minutes, and any animal that's within a half a mile or earshot will come check out to see what is making that noise. I've camped out on the mountain and had deer walk into camp to find out what the noise was. Coyotes, different things, just walk right into camp and go, what is that? As long as you're sitting still and don't startle them, they'll stay right there to check it out.
Well, I hope we've had a chance to present a good representation of your Jerome. Thanks for being a part of the show.
You bet. Appreciate
Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate it too.
I'd like to do a
Sure.
good song with you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do one.
So if you want to play fiddle, I can
Yeah, I'll
definitely
go grab
play
my
this.
fiddle. Can you play G's and C's and stuff?
Dingus Mountain with the Barkers and